Good afternoon. First, I want to say my heart goes out to the families and prayers goes out to the families of the church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. My heart even goes out to the families of the gentleman who did it. Not so much the gentleman, but the families. I'm just being real and honest with you. That's just how I feel about this right now. You know, I'm the type, if you know me, then you know that I'm the type person where when I sit down in a church or any other place, I'm always contemplating if somebody came in and they did something, they began shooting, how would I get my family out and how would I attack that person to ensure that nobody else dies? It may be the Marine in me, it may be just the way that I am, I don't know. But that's just how my mind thinks. And I've had plenty of conversations with pastors dealing with a sensitive subject, guns in churches. I started noticing once the right to bear arms, to bear a concealed weapon in the state of Georgia came about, that many churches put signs up saying no guns in the church. No guns in the church. Two things. One, you may not have an incident in your church 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 ceremonies or 3,000, services. But it only takes one time that you have an event in your church like this that now there's death, there's a massacre of people. And I'm not going to go into the white, the black, the mental attitude. I mean, look, this was premeditated. He sat in there for an hour, so there's nothing about a mental attitude. This is just pure murder. But it only takes one time to make a mistake. I remember when I was in a certain unit, we had to be perfect because the idea was that we can be right and we can not have an issue and we can stop 100 attacks, but it is the one attack that you don't stop, that's all people will remember, and that's all that really matter. That's all that really matter. And I've had so many conversations with pastors about allowing your parishioners or your security force to have a weapon. You can talk about the sanctity of the church and all that, but remember, Jesus and his disciples carried the gun of the day during their time. Peter was not admonished by Jesus for carrying the sword. He was admonished because this was the second incident where Peter tried to get in the way of Jesus's mission, which his mission was, he knew that he was going to die. And the first time Peter had words about it and he told him to get thee Satan behind me. The next time when they came to actually take Jesus, Peter pulled out his sword and cut the dude's ear off. They carried security weapons of the day. They carried the gun of the day. I sit in churches and I oftentimes think about how can I get my family out? How can I attack the person if they come in and they try to abuse the sanctity of this situation of the worship? And oftentimes I think, would I be the only person who would try to defend the body, defend the people? I'm telling you. For all you pastors out there, don't be blind. Don't be so humble or caught up in the spirit that you forget that you are also fighting a physical battle. Yes, you're fighting a spiritual battle. Yes, you're fighting a mental battle, but you're fighting a physical battle as well. And if you do not come to grips with it, you're going to see this over and over again, because basically what you're saying is that I forgot the term, but we're just sitting in a barrel. We're just targets in the barrel. Easy to shoot, easy to take out. Come on in. It's easy for you to accomplish this task over and over and over again. And notice he did a Bible study because there's less people at a Bible study. So his escape is more guaranteed from the people who are immediately there. If this was a regular service with 500-600 people there, then there's the more likelihood that somebody would jump him, or somebody's carrying or something like that. So he chose a less secure environment to be able to do it. You got to secure the people. In the ancient days and even up to the Pope had an army. All right, the Protestants, they had military people. When the pilgrims and whatnot came to America, they brought their weapons to the church. They may not have taken them inside, I don't know, but maybe they did, I don't know. But what I do know is that people carried the weapon of the day. And if you want to say that the weapon of the day is prayer and the weapon of the day is spirituality, that is part of your weapon. But when the physical person is standing there with a gun and they're shooting at the people in the church, then you need to be able to defend physically as well. And not just a physical bum rush of people, but the physical, we got to return to with the same thing. You got to protect your people. And here's the thing. If the people who want to commit these crimes knew that there is a strong possibility that the security, at least, or there are parishioners in that church who are carrying, guess what? It's less likely that it will happen again. We can't be punks. We can't just wimp out. We can't just be so humble that we forget that we're fighting a physical battle as well. I can tell you this. It's not current, not right now. But over the next few weeks, few months, it will be unlikely that if I stepped into your church that I would not be carrying. So if you are a pastor or minister, just know, if I walk into your church, it will be concealed. But know this, if somebody comes into that church and they try to do something, I will take care of it. And you may say, God brought me there to do it that moment. You will applaud that. But if you just see me in there with it and nothing happens, and you want to crucify me over it, you'll applaud the time that you're saved. But then the time that you're not, what are you going to say? So look, like I always say, I'm willing to give up everything to gain everything. And my greatness is non-negotiable. But this situation, this is deplorable. And you got to fight the physical battle. You got to fight the physical battle as well. We cannot go to somebody and say, you're hungry, just pray and be well. No, you got to feed them. We'll fight that physical battle. We won't go to somebody and say, be warm, and then just walk away. No, we'll put clothes on their back because you're fighting the physical battle. The physical battle is just not in the humanitarian things that you give out, but the physical battle is also in the security of what you do. When I participate with people who are going to feed the homeless, guess what we bring? They always want to have men with them to protect. So we got to protect.